What's up, everybody? JCC2224 taking a look at every single Republic Commando action figure ever made in the Hasbro Star Wars 3.75 scale. This is every single one. It isn't like, oh, I'm missing this weird one, or no. I have every single one here to show you, and a lot of them are just a repaint of the exact same mold with a couple different parts. However, there are a couple molds they've used throughout the years, one of them being a completely different sculpt. But yeah, throughout the years, they have made 3 Scorches, 3 Bosses, 2 Fixers, 2 Sevs, 1 Feast Gerado, 1 normal White Republic Commando, and the Black Republic Commando squad. I can't really remember their names right now. I'm actually sick, so yeah, that certainly isn't helping my case. Yeah, whenever I go over them individually, I will just, post a little thing showing what their name is, because I sure as heck don't remember them. So I guess the first one we should probably go over is Boss, because, I mean, after all, he's kind of the boss, isn't he? So this is the very first Republic Commando boss they released in a 6-pack with all 4 Delta Squad members and 2 Geonosians. And this is a very, very impressive figure. I do like this guy quite a bit. He's got this weird black lining on his helmet that I'm not really sure why it's there. But other than that, the paint is pretty solid all around. It's got some weathering on his legs, orange all around, white little specks showing where the orange is fading away. And for accessories, he has the standard Republic Commando rifle and a backpack with a little hole in it for Sev's attachment, because Sev and Boss basically have the exact same backpack. Articulation on this mold is a ball jointed at the head, swivels at the shoulders, ball hinge at the elbows, swivel at the wrist, ball joint at the waist, swivels at the hips, and that's it. Nothing else in the legs, only swivels at the shoulders. It's kind of weak in that regard, however, it does kind of get in the generic pose that all of them are in the video game. By the way, I only started playing the video game recently. I haven't even finished Geonosis yet, but it's a pretty good game so far. It's really hard, though. Like, Jesus, super battle droids? Damn. The next boss they produced is a very nice upgrade to the original. This one was released in a joint SDCC and Toys R Us exclusive multi-pack, and he did not come with this gun. He came with the standard Republic Commando rifle. This was just a custom made by a friend that I always display him with. And overall, he's really looking nice. They got rid of the black lining on the visor, which I appreciate. Still has a lot of the paint carried forward from the original, like all the weathering and all that. Still has a similar backpack. However, they did enhance a lot of the articulation. He now has outwards at the shoulders, which is not much, but it's there. Like, it's barely anything. And he now has knees, and he now has ankles. So that's pretty cool. I do enjoy the enhanced articulation. However, a lot of the other figures in this range kind of suffer from something. The next boss they produced is the most recent Republic Commando ever released, and that is the Clone Wars boss from, I want to say, 2012. And it's, interesting. I'm not really a huge fan of this figure because while it does have some nice paint qualities, it does have in and out at the shoulders, and I do like the sculpt of this guy. I don't like the fact that they also didn't give this one the knees and ankles. And he doesn't have wrists either. That's actually really irritating. Also, something weird about the texture of this guy. He feels very hollow, like everywhere. On his legs and on his body, he just feels hollow, and that's really odd. He comes with the standard Republic Commando gun, which is a completely new sculpt for this version, and he does have a very weird giant backpack that looks nothing like how it actually does. And you open this up, and inside you have 2 pistols, which is very helpful in case you lose one. I think I might have already taken... No, both of them are in there. In case you lose a pistol from, like, Rex or something, you can always borrow it from him. And he comes with a cord thing. Looks like some sort of zip line or something. I don't know. I really try my best to be careful with cords and never touch them ever, because I do a really good job of messing them up. One extra thing, though, I'm really disappointed that they didn't make the rest of Delta Squad in some multi-pack, and I'm even more disappointed that they never made a Gregor. Moving on to probably my favorite childhood Republic Commando, this is Scorch. This is the single-carded Saga Collection release, and it's very, very similar to the multi-pack one. Of course, the multi-pack one does have some different paint, because it is an entirely different release. Like, it has the black lining around the visor, this one doesn't. Just some very subtle paint differences throughout. Nothing too major. I believe the guns are pretty much the same. Maybe a little slightly different in the coloring. One cool thing about Scorch, though, both of them, he's got a little attachment on his leg and a new sculpt for his leg. I think it's pretty cool. I always enjoy little things like that. The Toys R Us and SDCC Scorch, however, is kind of disappointing. You can see that the scratches on his helmet don't really seem to look as nice, and also one of the scratches on his helmet is actually going into his visor a little bit. That kind of bugs me. I don't think the paint is really as good on this guy. And also, he doesn't have the leg attachment. That's just painted on. And that's really disappointing, actually. And I believe he only has one of the straps, too. That's weird. That's really weird, and I don't really like that. However, this figure still has the outward of the shoulders and the knee and ankle joints, so I guess it's better, but the fact that it's missing that attachment is kind of disappointing, and that's something that pretty much carries forward with a lot of these guys. The old multi-pack Fixer looks pretty solid. There's nothing really wrong with him. I enjoy his weathering. It looks absolutely fantastic. I love his multiple shades of green, the dark green and the lighter green. It looks so great. One thing that this version did miss out on, though, he could have had a new head sculpt with the helmet attachment he had in the game. However, I can kind of understand why they didn't do that. I mean, just sculpting one new leg that was actually already from a unique figure is a little easier than completely giving him a new head. He does have a different backpack, though, that I do appreciate. I love the little blue detail right there. Really nice. The Toys R Us Multipack Fixer, once again, does have the outward at the shoulders and the knee and ankles. However, the weathering on the legs isn't as prominent, and while I do enjoy the green, actually a little more on this version, the blue stripe, it's present on the back, but it's not present on the front. I don't know if that's accurate to the game or what, but they also did not give him a new head on this version either, and it does make his head look a little naked, especially given that the green stripe on this one is a little more faded. Good old Sev, then, the default badass. Yeah, Sev's pretty solid. Nothing really wrong with him. I love his paint. He's got the Geonosian blood all over him, even though he kind of had it on Kamino, so I don't really know if that's Geonosian blood or just paint. But I love the weathering on him. He's got blood all over, or just red paint. I don't know what it is. And he does have the nice shoulder attachment, which is connected to the same backpack as Boss. And this guy also has a leg attachment, which I think is really cool. So yeah, this Sev is totally a win. Toys R Us Multipack Sev also looks very cool. He did not come with this gun. This is just a sniper rifle that came with the ARC Troopers battle pack. Boss, Fixer, and Sev come with the same gun that you saw Fixer with. And I do like the weathering on that gun. However, it's not a sniper rifle. And this is an extremely inaccurate sniper rifle, but I don't care. The little thing on his shoulder for this newer one actually has some blue paint on it. However, once again, no attachment. Yeah, that's kind of lazy. Especially given how I think the attachment for his leg is pretty much compatible with this one. I don't see why they didn't do it here. Let me try that out. It's a little loose on the new one. As you can see, it is kind of wiggling around. However, I think they probably could have thrown it in. I mean, Hasbro's done really lazy kit bashes like that before. Why stop now? Next up, we have one of my favorite commandos, and it's just this standard regular white guy. Yeah, he's a white commando. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Anyways, yeah, he's just a standard white clone commando. He's got a new backpack, which is pretty cool. I have 3 of this guy. I lost one of the backpacks as a kid because I was playing with this as like a little mini ship or something, because it kind of looks like a weird little gunship or something. I don't know. I was actually doing it just because it's kind of stupid. I was just like, oh, look, it's a little thing. And then it fell and got lost into the void. Oddly enough, it fell in a very open room where you would expect to actually find it, but it just disappeared into the void. I don't know what happened. But he does have the older mold with no knees and ankles and just swivels at the shoulders, which is okay. You don't really need more than that. Next up, we have Garrot, who is a very, very, very dark blue, almost black. And he is impressive. This guy is actually the figure that introduced the ankles, and that's not the ankle. The knee and the ankle. That's anatomy. He actually does have Sev's little attachment, too, on the articulated leg. So that shows they could have done it with the multi-pack Sev. But anyway, he does have the standard gun, and he has this little Star Wars cell phone. I don't know. It's a little communicator thing. I always use it with figures to, like, take selfies or something, because it totally looks like that. Yeah, he's got Sev's backpack and shoulder attachment. And overall, he's pretty cool. I'd say he's probably one of my favorites. Next up, we have the Entertainment Earth exclusive Mandalorian Battle Pack Commandos. And these guys are basically just Delta Squad, but black. They do have random crazy names, like Mandalorian names. That's this guy's name, right down there. And yeah, he's Boss, but black. He's the unarticulated body, so it doesn't have the knees and ankles. But yeah, it's Boss, but black. Look, it's Sev, but black. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that unique? He does have a little bit of a lighter gray. All these have a little bit of a lighter gray for the undersuit, which is pretty cool. He still does have the attachment, which I think is nice. But he's Sev, but black. What's that I hear over the horizon? A fixer, but black? Whoa, that's insane. I believe Fixer and Boss have the little like silver rank things on their chest, but the others don't. Yeah, that's him. He's Fixer but black. Do you have any idea where this is heading? Do you think the next one is gonna be Fiskarada but black, or the normal white commando but black? No, it's Scorch but black, and he still does have the attachment on his leg, including the sculpted stripes and Scorch's unique gun. Yeah, it's Scorch but black, guys. Isn't that unique? Isn't that something? He's Scorch but black. There you go. So there you go, guys. There is every single Republic Commando figure ever made in the Hasbro Star Wars 3.75 inch scale. This collection is absolutely epic, and I do love all of these figures. I personally own all of these, besides the original multi-pack ones. Those are lent to me by my brother. These figures are fantastic, and while the Entertainment Earth exclusive black ones are kind of boring because they're just the same guys but black, they're still pretty cool, and I do enjoy them. I would say the definitive Republic Commando team is probably still the Toys R Us exclusive set, because it's more articulated, and while it is missing a couple attachments and made some pretty silly choices, I'd say it's still pretty good. So yeah, guys, that is it. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Check out my Facebook and Instagram page if you have a chance. Next up, I will be doing Shock Troopers and ARC Troopers, and a lot of people have been asking about clone pilots. Unfortunately, I cannot do that because I'm just missing one. So once I find that one, I will do the clone pilot one. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Make sure to do those things, and as always, Vodan! Vodan!